Alright guys, welcome to the video. In today's video we are actually going to be talking about my time at a Ford dealership across seas in Europe. Now I recently went to Italy to actually meet my girlfriend's parents for the first time. Her parents are actually Italian, are straight from Italy. She was also born in Italy, so they still have the house over there and all. And my time in Europe was very eye-opening, just being exposed to different cultures and whatnot. And one of the things that I paid the most attention to while I was there is, of course, cars, because being like a car guy, most of you guys are going to notice any car here in the States. So once you go out to another country, you're going to be looking at what they drive and just a couple of things. And I might actually try and make another video talking about this. Originally, I did want to vlog my whole experience in Italy and kind of share it with you guys. But then I decided not to, just because everywhere I went, I didn't want to have a camera in my hands. And I just really wanted to kind of enjoy more of the moment by myself rather than, like I said, having a camera in my hands. But one of the first things I noticed about cars in general, everyone has a manual. Very common. I know they, if you watch Top Gear or now the Grand Tour, you know, they talk about it overseas, how everyone has a manual, but America, or really North America, all of North America, the USA and Canada, we have automatic transmissions, but over there it's almost like the reverse as far as how as many manual transmissions that we have here is about as many automatics as they have over there, and vice versa. So basically the manual transmission is not a rare sight at all. And you know, it's kind of weird because I feel like over here, especially in the car community, a lot of us kind of brag about, well, I can drive a manual, or is it stick, and you know, yeah, but once you go over there, I feel like you kind of lose the cool factor of that, because, well, everyone can do it. Literally everyone in their grandma knows how to drive a manual. So over there, you're not any specialer. Now, of course, you know, you could talk about, well, the different driving techniques and the racing techniques, but overall, driving a manual really is not that hard, especially since most of the world is actually doing it. But here in the United States, we just make it to be a cooler thing than really what it is. And I will say I'm kind of guilty of that. You know, everyone wants to say their car is a manual. But while I was over there, I took a tour of a Ford dealership. I just kind of stumbled upon it, and then I ended up having my camera, so I kind of walked around. And I wanted to show you guys what they had in there. And one of the first things I saw, I did see some different vehicles. The Ford Focus over there seems to be a larger vehicle, and I'll show you guys these clips in a second. But one of the biggest vehicles that stuck out to me the most, and I actually saw two different versions of this car, was the Ford Puma. Now, this is a car that I definitely got really excited about once I saw it, because it honestly looked like some of the Porsche SUVs, guys. That's really what this thing looks like to me. Now it does have a little bit of a smaller style than it's smaller than Porsche SUVs, but essentially the styling is what I think is really similar. And also, guys, once I really got a good look at this thing and walked around it, especially after seeing two separate ones, this is easily a vehicle I think could sell in the United States. I would love, if someone for some reason at Ford was watching this, I would love for you guys to do the research to see how that car would sell over here. I think, especially with the way the US market is going, as far as, you know, not too many people buying cars, and people are honestly looking for this size of a vehicle. I believe the price of the Ford Puma starts at around 20,000 euros. Now convert that to dollars, so maybe a little bit more, but you know, basically in the $20,000 range, US dollar range at least. So I think this is a great option, because essentially that's about the price of my Mustang, at least behind me. So the average American family can afford that, and it was a really nice vehicle. One of my favorite things I saw that I liked about it was the fact that it did have a manual transmission option. Like I said, everyone in Europe had manual transmissions, but overall, just seeing the different European cars and seeing a Ford European dealership was very cool. I did see some Mustangs over there, not on the dealership. From what I understand, that the Mustang is still a rare, or even though they started selling it in different countries, it's still kind of sought after and hard to find. I guess the markups over there are higher, so I wouldn't say the elite can only have one, but usually if you do have a Mustang, you do have a little bit more money over there, from what I was told. But overall, the Ford Puma, and I'll put some pictures here for you guys, I think looked incredible. I will say that the pictures really don't do it any justice. I did see this red one in town, in my girlfriend's town, a couple of times, and every time I looked at it, I said that looks amazing, and she was a pretty big fan of it, and the one that I saw in the dealership as well. But right now, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the clip and show you guys what the Ford Puma looks like, along as what the Ford dealerships look like across seas. So we have just arrived at a Ford dealership in Italy. There's really not much here in the lot. It's not even that really big of a lot. I'm just kind of looking around. One of the first things that I've noticed Obviously they have European cars only, and they have some cars that are sold in Australia only. Generally the cars that are sold in Australia are also sold in Europe. But the EcoSport is over here, as you guys can see that one. There are some vehicles that are not Fords. This right here, it looks like it's basically the Ford Escape, but it has another name. I think it's called the, you know what, let me not even butcher that, I'm just gonna walk around. It's the Ford Kuga? So I have no clue what that thing is, but it looks like it's basically built on the Ford chassis, along with this Fiesta here, and it might be called something else. No, they call it the Fiesta. But this Fiesta may be larger than the one that we have back in the States, so that's pretty interesting. But overall, this Ford dealership is pretty small. I did see some other ones. What does that mean up there? It says Ford what? The new Ford. The new Ford? Focus. The new Ford Focus? Oh, it's not even focused in the window. Can we go in and see that car? Or is it weird? I don't know if they hassle you like they do in American dealerships. But it's cool. About to go in and see what it's like in here. So guys, we did get some pricing information. The Ford Puma seems to be starting around $20,000. Put a comment down in the comments, because I really could see this car selling in the States easily. I'm gonna do one more walk around. This needs to come to America, in my opinion. This screams Porsche, but has a Ford design, and it's crazy. No glass roof, but I'm sure you could add these options. From what I've seen, at least, I feel like Americans would kind of spend more time in our car, because our stuff is more spaced out in general. So you could easily add more options like that glass roof, or more leather seats, heated and cooled. But this is nice. This right here, it has like a suede, not suede, almost like a cloth insert, like the base model that you would see, but the outside is leather, so I've never seen something like that. Flat bottom steering wheel. You have a 6-speed manual transmission, another screen like we talked about earlier. This is a lot of what you would see in Europe, because smaller roads, smaller streets, it just works better for this type of environment. But this Puma, I'm imagining if it got outfitted more for the United States with more options, kind of, obviously that one didn't look bad, but Americans, we like our different options, or at least North America in general. But this styling isn't bad at all. Do you like this? This is cool. We should bring this to America. It really looks like a Porsche.
Yeah.
Does it not look like a Porsche?
Like the shape, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. That looks cool. So there's a sign here saying that this is the new Ford Focus crossover. So I guess I'm so confused if so this is the Ford Focus for Europe in general, or if the Focus is being restyled as a crossover overall. But the Puma is nice. These could sell easily in the United States, depending on the price. The thing is, here they don't have the prices on the windows like you'd see in America. There's no sticker. I'm sure you actually have to do the talking, but I guess the ST line is a part of the ST series. So, is it unlocked? Wow. Yeah, look at this. This is so cool. So cool. It's crazy. The manual, of course, nice little screen, kind of similar to the new Ford Focus, or no, sorry, Ford Explorer. That's really nice. Key is right there in the ignition. I'd love to test drive, but clearly I don't have my European license. Alright guys, and that's basically what a Ford dealership looks like. Now, as you guys saw, the Ford Focus does look different, and I really didn't get too much of a chance to actually talk to the guy. I actually couldn't really speak to him because I'm not fluent in Italian. I barely understand Italian. I understand like very, very small stuff, especially once people start talking, they start talking so fast. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave a like, comment down below, if you guys would like to see the Ford Puma come to America, or if you think it's ugly, you might think I'm crazy, you might think that thing does not need to come anywhere near America. I personally think that thing would sell pretty good, like I said, looking at the market, and I honestly think it would be something kind of new. It looks so different for a Ford vehicle, that's why I said, I mean, it just really screamed out Porsche to me, and I definitely think that if you put, you know, a performance engine in that, along with adding some more options, because that's one thing I will say I did notice in the European market, was that they don't have as many options as what we in America may have. They just prefer different options, and I feel like that's also to keep costs down over there, versus here, you know, in America we're fine with buying a $45,000, $50,000 car. Over there that's kind of different. But like I said, guys, let me know what you think about that vehicle, and I'll catch you guys in another video.